everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Running the Bases. I'm your host, Michael Garaffa, joined by Nick Nath and Ryan Blank. It is summer. Running the Bases summer is here. We are out of school. We have finished school. Marco is graduated. He's not graduated from the show, but he's graduated. Marco Peralta, our other co-host.
Officially graduated yet. Don't make him older than he really is.
Yes, he is. He's officially.
He
walked.
Official day is tomorrow. Official day is tomorrow.
Yes,
okay.
But he walked the magical walk the other day, and to me that counts as graduating. So Marco is
that point, Michael.
I know, but he's officially no longer with Cronkite, and we obviously offer our incredible congratulations to Marco, our great friend. He's not here with us today because he's enjoying his first week of summer at post-graduation. This, like I said to him, I said, this might be your last week of your life where you have no responsibility at all. So enjoy the heck out of it. And that's why he's not here today. He should be joining us again next Sunday. But again, massive congratulations to Marco. We are all so proud of him. He's going places, and we're going to one day be grateful to be able to call him friend. So that's been a lot of fun. So how was everyone's last week of school? It was good for me. It was quick, kind of painless a little bit, but how was everybody else's?
It's good. The NFL draft is really cool. I know this is a baseball show, but the NFL draft is really cool. I'm really happy. And it's really cool. We're in summer now. It's full baseball and basketball, but mostly baseball, I guess, for this show.
That's true. Yeah. Ryan?
It's kind of like the Band-Aid that you don't want to pull off. You got to pull it off, and it hurts for a second. But then once it's off, and you're doing great. So overall, it was a fine week. We don't talk about my Spanish channel ever again because screw that class and screw that test. So
we'll put that in the same category as macroeconomics for me.
Other than that, not a bad week. My parents are here. My apartment is empty. I move out. I leave tomorrow morning. My parents are killing me because they're yelling at me to clean stuff. When I don't clean, I just pack. So yeah, we're doing great.
Are they in your apartment with you?
Not right now. I told them to not be at my apartment until 10 because I have a very important business meeting, aka show. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that this important business meeting takes precedent. That's good to know. Overall, it has been a great school year. And this also, for the record, might be, maybe, we've talked about it, our final 9 a.m. show on Sundays. Maybe. We've got to coordinate a time that the four of us that works.
I'm going to be honest with you very quick. It's not a maybe. It is for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Well, we have to figure out a time that works best with us, and we're not going to know what our summer schedule really looks like until next weekend. So next weekend might be our last one, but by next weekend we'll have a definitive answer.
Let me be honest with you. I won't be able to most Sundays.
Yeah, well, I understand.
I'll be coaching the baseball, and there's tournaments on Sundays. So yeah.
Okay. We'll figure out a time.
But I have one thing to say to these horrible 9 a.m. shows. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
See, for you guys who are not awake, I'm already awake for them, and there's nothing for me to do in this time span, so it's just the only time that works.
Here's the difference between everyone and you, Michael. Michael, we're out to 2 a.m., having a good time with friends, celebrating, enjoying college. Then there's you. You're at home the entire day, and you go to bed at 9 o'clock at night.
Hey, no. I'm in bed at about midnight, but it's Sundays that I'm up at 6 o'clock.
I have FaceTimed you to ask you a question at 10:30, and you're just laying in bed what's up? I was just asleep.
Okay, that was definitely last Saturday, and Saturday nights I go to bed early because I have to be up really early Sundays. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. So today we're going to just chat baseball. There's no real theme to today's show. The title of the show is Do 7-Inning No-Hitters Count? Obviously, we are going to talk about that among many other things that have happened in the last week. It's been a really interesting week of baseball. I will say that. I will say at this moment, we're going to get into our power rankings a little later, but I've kind of assorted my power rankings into kind of 4 tiers, I would say, between, well, kind of 5, really. It's the super elite that are, untouchable, the elite, the really great, the great but not doing well at the moment, and then the rest. And I will say that in the top 10, we've got 4 tiers of the top 10 that I've got that we'll have later. So there's been a lot going on. The Dodgers have lost their by far lost their spot as the number 1 team in baseball at the moment. They're just not playing well. A lot going on there. We'll get into that, and like I said, many other things as the show progresses. But let's start.
Way to spoil it, Michael.
Let's start with the title of this video: Do 7-inning no-hitters count? Throwback to, let me get the date because it's in my top 5 moments of the week. Spoiler alert. April 25th, Madison Bumgarner throws a 7-inning no-hitter in a 7-inning doubleheader game. It was a great game. He really he had about 100 pitches, so he wasn't on point, but he didn't give up a hit. So no-hitter, technically. After the fact, I believe it's the first time we've had a no-hitter in one of these 7-inning games. A lot of questions. Does it count? Does it not? Rule, and the final ruling was that it doesn't count. It goes into the history books as a game where he didn't allow a hit in a 7-inning doubleheader. It's really confusing, and there's been a lot of chatter going on really for the last week. We talked about it in John's class, Ryan, about does a 7-inning no-hitter count? And it was a very heated discussion before class even started between about 4 of us. And I'm intrigued to hear what you guys think. I'll start with you, Nick, because you were on the top of the screen. What do you think? Do 7-inning no-hitters count? In particular, Madison Bumgarner's case, we'll refer to that.
I mean, you can look at it, but you can look at it in 2 ways. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is that there's been a lot of pitchers that I've watched that have lost no-hitters in the 8th or 9th inning, and that have been like 1 or 2 outs away. And so for me, that also plays a part of it. But like for me, in Mad Bum, now that we're consistently playing 7-inning doubleheaders, and now it's becoming more of a thing, I do think that the MLB needs to look into what would happen if a pitcher does do what Madison Bumgarner just did. And I think if we're regularly playing 7-inning doubleheaders, then I don't know why we can't have no-hitters in the 7th inning. Like, I don't know why that's such a big deal, because Madison Bumgarner can't control it. I understand numerous pitchers have lost no-hitters in perfect games in the 8th or 9th, but like, what actually can you do at that point? Like, if you were Madison Bumgarner and you had a no-hitter, what would you actually like? Would you want to play the extra 2 innings, or would you just take the no-hitter? Like, I don't know. It's a tough situation overall, but now that we're consistently playing them, I think they should be allowed. I think Madison Bumgarner deserved a no-hitter that day.
I'm going to break it down in the only explainable and agreeable way.
Oh.
This just proves the MLB does not know what they're doing. This should be a no-hitter. It's not like he can control it. He went out in a game that was told it would be 7 innings and threw a no-hitter. You count it. I don't care. I am so tired of this booey crap where they're like, oh, yeah, you pitched 7 no-hit innings and that's a complete game? No, you don't get it. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's not like he can control the fact, oh, yeah, I want it to be 7 innings. Ball game. No. The MLB has chosen and decided that this year doubleheaders are 7 innings. You throw a no-hitter in one of those games, guess what? It's a no-hitter. Get your heads out of your MLB.
See, I agree with you that there should be a clear-cut ruling going into the year. There shouldn't have been question after the game of, oh, does this count or does it not? There shouldn't have been question, and there still shouldn't be question. I actually disagree with you guys, though. I don't think it should count. Many reasons why.
You are ecstatic.
Let me explain. Why? Let me explain. Just let me explain. First off, I agree that it should count as a no-hitter. However, if you count it as a no-hitter, it seems incredibly unfair to me that a pitcher that debuts next year when 7-inning no-hitters are not a thing won't have that same chance. We have always had 9-inning games, and a no-hitter has always been 9 innings. You throw 9 innings, maybe even 10.
They might keep that.
Horrible reason. That's a horrible reason.
But I'm
What if they
saying
keep that?
What the hell will be decided?
if
Is
they
that
keep
7
it-
innings? That's a horrible reason.
if they decide, I feel like personally, if you're going to make it count, you then have to have 7-inning no-hitters. I mean, 7-inning doubleheaders going forward. There has to be an opportunity.
Don't.
I just feel like there has to be an opportunity for everybody to do that, because it seems to me like it's unfair for a guy who played his entire career.
We're not all equal here.
I agree,
Okay?
but
Whoa.
let me explain myself. Come on. I let you.
Your reason right there was stupid.
Okay, I could say your reasoning was stupid. It doesn't matter. But
Mine's actually not stupid. You're like, well, then you have to keep it the entire time. No, you don't.
hey, it's my opinion.
Oh,
It's
my
fine.
Lord.
I feel like if you're going to do this, you have to be consistent with it, because we've only had 2 years of 7-inning no-hitters. I believe they should count it, but it has to have an asterisk next to it. Just like the Astros World Series, it has to have an asterisk, because you never know what would have happened in the 8th or 9th inning. Now, I understand the counter arguments of, well, if you're throwing a 7-inning no-hitter, the pressure is going to be more in the 6th and 7th, just like they are in the 8th and 9th. But Madison Bumgarner went into that game knowing, okay, well, if I throw a no-hitter through 7 innings, it doesn't count. So when you get into that 7th inning and you haven't given up a hit, right, I know, but as a pitcher, like it doesn't statistically count as a no-hitter. So when you go into that 7th inning, if you go into that 7th inning, you're not going to feel that extra pressure like you would in the 9th inning of a game where it's going to count as a no-hitter. Like, yeah, it feels great, but I feel like they either should have made it last year or they should have not. I feel like, personally, for Madison Bumgarner and baseball, as a baseball fan, it should count as a no-hitter. But logistically, this wasn't set up last year. Yeah, nobody threw a no-hitter last year, but if they want to count it as a no-hitter, you have to have had it count as a no-hitter from the start. And you also have to have it count as a no-hitter going beyond. And I've also made the argument that if Madison Bumgarner, if you're going to count a 7-inning no-hitter and a doubleheader, then you technically should have to count any no-hitter that comes through 7 innings in a doubleheader of all time. Because you can't – that's just my thought, that you can't – you've got to make it that if someone does this in the past – and now Madison Bumgarner does what hundreds of pitchers have done, throw a no-hitter through 7 innings.
A perfect society or something?
No, but it's just a fact.
That's not right. There's a difference when the MLB sanctioned the game 7 innings.
I know.
It's a no-hitter. Don't say, oh, yeah, they had 7 no-hit innings. It counts. That's different because you went the distance in the game that it is decided. He went the 7 innings. So it is a no-hitter.
Right, and I agree, but I agree that I feel like it has to be in a separate category. It can't just count as Madison Bumgarner's no-hitter cannot count in the same category as Joe Musgrove's. Like, they just can't. Like, to me, like, I personally cannot consider them the same because they're two completely different things. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
There's a difference between 6 outs. And I know, like I said before, there's been numerous pitchers that have lost on the last out of their perfect game or no hitters, but my whole thing is Madison Bumgarner just can't control how long he pitches. And if it was up to him, he would have gone all 9 innings. I understand what would have happened in the 8th or 9th. We don't know what would have happened, but my thing is he went the distance in the game. He was told it's a 7-inning game. He went all 7 innings. He did not give up a hit. And I think he should, I don't know if in the same category as Joe Musgrove, that's different. Obviously, Musgrove went the distance. He did a traditional 9-inning no-hitter, but Bumgarner was 6 outs less. I don't know if it's that big of a deal to me, really. And I don't know. Right. And if we keep moving forward with these doubleheaders, then I think we'll start seeing a consistent trend of it. And especially with team no-hitters too, I think so.
Right. And I make the argument that if you're in a situation where your team throws a no-hitter through 7 innings, you'll feel the euphoria of having a no-hitter, but it to me just wouldn't feel right. I would say I would want it to count, but it wouldn't feel the same as a regular no-hitter, which is why I feel you have to just have a subcategory.
Of course. I mean, and you can tell the moment that he got the no-hitter, they didn't celebrate like it was an actual one. They celebrated a little more nonchalantly. They were like, oh, okay, good job. there was a little more extra excitement than regular, but you could just feel it wasn't like a real no-hitter. And that's probably like the mindset that we're going to go with moving forward. But I still think it should count as something. Like it should be a 7-inning no-hitter.
Yeah.
Like this should be as that separate category. Like because it's still an amazing feat no matter what. To no-hit an MLB team for 7 innings is remarkable by any means.
I think the moral of the story here is there shouldn't be 7-inning games. I think that's our general consensus.
It makes a lot of sense, though. I will say for doubleheaders, for the players, for the teams, it does make a lot of sense. Like the 2 innings less does make a difference, I think, and it helps that they can fit 2 games into one day, not be rushed.
I agree, but I feel like if you're going to insist on 7-inning doubleheaders, you've got to have some sort of clear-cut rules as to like if this happens in this game, it won't count or it'll go in this category. Like there should not be in the second year now of these 7-inning doubleheaders. There should not be any question about any rules. We shouldn't have this conversation. It shouldn't be a topic of conversation because MLB needs to have it planned out, and they don't. It's poor planning, like Ryan said, and it's causing issues. Like it's unnecessary. It really is. Moral of the story is Madison Bumgarner threw 7 innings of no-hit ball, and whether it'll end up in 10 years from now counting as a no-hitter in the history books, we don't know.
I think this is ridiculous that the MLB just won't say that it counts. Because here's the thing. It's different if it's rained out or something like that. But the game was decided to be 7 innings at the beginning of the year. He went the distance through a no-hitter in that time frame. It counts. And that's what people have to understand. He would have gone for it if it were 2 more innings. It's not like he was going to just give up. So
he had 100 pitches, so he might not have been able to. That's the other factor.
Okay, here's the thing. When you're pitching a no-hitter, you don't care about if your arm's about to fall off. You're going out there, you're just throwing it. I don't care if you have a noodle, you're throwing.
Yeah.
So I think it's ridiculous that the MLB did not plan for this. Because here's the thing. They have to expect it at some point. You have to plan for every possible outcome and every possible angle. And guess what? They did.
They didn't.
As Rob Manfred's a joke.
Yeah, your all of your what's the word? Arguments make sense. And I understand that, and I believe that it should count, but it should count in a subcategory. Because I still personally, I just don't think you can count it as a no-hitter. Like Nick said, it can't be in the same category as every other no-hitter because it's not really the full thing. So that's just the first of many crazy things that have happened this week. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was that it's apparently fight week in Major League Baseball. I guess we have pulled out the boxing gloves because we had 2 players challenging other players to fights on back-to-back days. Starting on Friday when Dom Smith told Jose Alvarado to meet him in the tunnel before the game and fight. And then yesterday, Javier Baez told Amir Garrett that he wanted to fight him as well. I don't know. This has been really a really strange series of events. Who's going to fight who today? I'm intrigued to hear what you guys have to say on it. Ryan, I'll start with you because we started with Nick last time. What's been your take on fight weekend in Major League Baseball?
Emotions get high. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. You're just going to see players get pissed off, and that just shows the dedication, the brotherhood, and all that comes along with being on a team and being in baseball. I don't think there's an issue with it. People saying, suspend the guys for saying anything. Oh, my Lord. You must be really soft. Just go sit under your blanket and cry. And if I offended you, good. Any sport is going to have some disagreements and some contact. If you cannot deal with players going at each other in baseball from a distance, then God help you. You're not going to watch football. Like, I'm sorry. I don't see what the big deal is. You've seen benches clear. You've seen all this. But here's the thing. It's the heat of the moment. Teams are going to get in each other's faces, especially when it's rivals in the same division. So that's what my opinion is on it. And I think it's actually good for baseball. Brings a little heat, a little bit of momentum, some intensity. I'm all for it. Give me some chatter. Give me some stares, bat flips. Give me it all. Everyone in this country, stop being so soft. I'm tired of the marshmallows.
Nick, go ahead.
I 1,000% agree. I mean, the beginning of the season started with like Nick Castellanos like flexing over the Cardinals pitcher, and from that moment on, I was like, this season could be a little bit chippy. And he clearly got suspended more games than the Astros got suspended, but I won't get into that. But I think it's really cool. I mean, you have two sides of baseball that are completely different. You have the Anthony Rizzo, Freddie Freeman side, where they're all buddy, yelling at each other to run each other down, checking each other out, which is cool. Then you have the Javier Baez, Amir Garrett, that type of stuff, which I think is just really cool. I'm tired of players being so soft with each other, being so friendly. I'm like, I want rivalries to exist. Like I want baseball to have that, like that flair back. I want like Red Sox, Yankees, Bloody Sock vibes. Like again, especially like it's with all sports now too. Like I think players are just getting way too friendly with each other, but especially baseball. Like it's cool seeing Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rizzo be friendly like that. It's really cool, but like I really want to see some bad blood between teams, and especially come playoff time, like I'm ready to see some like it was awesome seeing the Dodgers and Padres clear the benches so many times. Like I'm excited if they meet the playoffs. Like you can expect a full on fight in that series. Like especially if Trevor Bauer, Manny Machado, and Fernando Tatis Jr. involved.
Give me Bauer in that fight 100%.
It could get really chippy. It could get really cool, and that's what baseball needs, I think. And like that, they're saying Dodgers Padres it's kind of what's saving baseball right now. And I think I agree because it's so chippy, it's so flair. The vibes are awesome, and it feels like a Red Sox Yankees game.
Yeah, and I can only say this because Marco's not here. Give me more of Pedro Martinez throwing Tommy Lasorda on the ground. I want moments like that. Like that is what makes baseball. And like honestly, like it. First of all, great for the game. Like the amount of eyeballs that have been on baseball because of the fights that have happened. And to be fair, no one even threw a punch in any of the two altercations. It was the after the game yelling at each other over press conferences. But, the image of Javier Baez giving the middle finger to Amir Garrett, like in the middle of a baseball field like that. Like I want to make that my screensaver. That's just funny. Now, on the other hand, because I want to present the other side of things, I agree with you guys. The relievers have been the instigators in both of these, where Jose Alvarado, for no reason at all, the only reason he did, to give context, was because Dom Smith yelled at him for throwing at Michael Conforto's head. He turned around after he struck Dom Smith out. Dom Smith walks away, turns around, starts screaming at him and telling him that he was, yapping and to get off the field. Like, that is a cowardly move. Like, you don't do that. That is being soft. And then on the other hand, you have Amir Garrett, who strikes out Anthony Rizzo. I mean, Dom Smith turned around and gave it back to Alvarado after he did that, even though he walked away. But Rizzo just walked away. Like, he was the man, was like, okay, you want to, be a child. But, Amir Garrett did the same thing. He strikes him out and starts screaming for no reason. Like, he had zero reason to yell at the guy. He just starts yelling at him. Like, that's just such a childish thing to do. And I think it's just disappointing. And, the arguments and the bad blood is good for baseball, but yelling at someone after striking them out for zero reason at all, that's just stupid. And I think it's quite honestly, I think that is bad for baseball because there's no reason. I mean, Anthony Rizzo didn't even care that he did it. It was Javier Baez who got mad. And, I don't understand where the relievers think they're going with this. I mean, like they're lucky that they don't have to bat, because if Jose Alvarado and Amir Garrett ever came up to the plate, they would get knocked out with a pitch. And, it's tough. And it circles back to Amir Garrett saying in the beginning of the year, I want to fight every team. Like, I want teams to know that we're bad dudes. Like, that's like I like that passion, but like, it's also, I don't know. To me, I think that the relievers are being soft in this spot and they're being cowards. Yes, right.
First off, he did not say we are bad dudes. You know what he said. We are some bad FC. Wow, I'm dying. The FCC would come at us if we said it on air. But here's the thing. If you're a reliever and you're getting pumped after a strikeout and someone goes at you for it, I'm all for it, okay? Here's the thing. Relievers are instigators. You can say that about Joe Kelly last year, okay? That was awesome. Whoever doesn't think that is just a sad human being. It just deserves to live under a rock. So here's the thing. I think that there's nothing wrong with relievers instigating anything. I actually think it is a great thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with what teams are doing. I don't care if a reliever. I don't think you should tell a reliever, hey, quiet down after a strikeout. If he wants to get pumped after he strikes out a guy who's hitting the ball well, like Rizzo, do it. And if Baez wants to get in your face about it, do it, and then prove that you're the bad mother, okay? So, yeah, do it. That's what baseball needs. They need that fire, that intensity, that passion. That is how you get a younger audience. Violence.
I mean, yeah, we've all played like competitive sports, and like at times that adrenaline just keeps flowing and running, and like I get surprised that more players don't get fired up like these closers have been, and I think it's cool. The atmosphere at the games these days just feels so much different than they have in the past, and like I think that's also a reason why players are acting out more. The intensity of every game also almost feels like it's October. Like most of these games are turning into like such close games, and like the intensity is just there, and like the players getting riled up, and like everyone's just here for it. And I think it's really cool. Like fans are getting involved in Petco Park in the first inning, and I think that's just really cool. And I think that we will see like a lot of amped up players from here on out, and especially down the wire. And I just cannot wait for some October baseball, because there's gonna be some cool fights I can't wait to see. Some Ruhan Odor, Jose Bautista vibes for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Nick mentioned it. I have to talk about it. As you guys know, I played competitive baseball for years. Here is the thing. Every time I would get hit or anything close to it, I'm staring down the pitcher, or as I'm going to first base, I'm walking him. I'm not – wow, that was stupid. I'm looking dead at him. Here's the thing. The intensity is going to get you. Michael, have you ever played competitive sports? I think you – I'm pretty sure you have. So you understand.
I played basketball. Yeah,
so you understand. The intensity will get to you. I played competitive basketball too. The amount of fights I almost got in a game, one of my teammates, just a dude turned around and punched one of my teammates in the face. It's going to happen. The intensity is going to get there. The amount of times I got into a screaming match with a hitter when I was on the mound because he thought the pitch was too insane, it's ridiculous. If he doesn't want, if he wants to smoke, he can come get it. But here's the thing.
Standing there.
Your adrenaline's going to go, and you're going to get – it's going to be intense. You want to win games, especially those close games against teams you don't like. I'm here for it. Everyone else should be here for it. If someone doesn't like violence, then watch your drama shows.
I've decked my fair share of people in basketball in the day. You hit one of my players, I'm going to come back and hit you twice as hard. That was my philosophy.
Hey, if anybody here knows Roman Reigns from WWE, I'm spearing someone as hard as I can. I've done it before. It's fun.
I've hucked balls over people's heads in baseball, as hard as I can. That was like almost knocked their head. I hit a guy in the head once, not on purpose, but
one of my teammates on one of my old teams, he said, do not ever think about butting on me. So at practice, I was like, I asked him why. He's like, just don't do it. I'm like, I'm going to do it at practice just to see what
he's going to throw it at your head when you run down the line.
That's exactly what he does. He throws at your head. He's like, do not. One kid tried to bunt on us. He threw it at his head. Kid backed up. The kid was like 5 feet off the plate after that. It was so funny. And he just screams at him, do not bunt on me. I was like, I respect it.
Okay. Yeah, that's straight up. I mean, I respect it. Yeah, I mean, I think I love the passion, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for relievers being excited. I think that's great for baseball. The thing that got me was that they turned to the player and did it. Like yelled, like Amir Garrett turned to Anthony Rizzo after striking him out and like screamed at him, like saying, like, get off my field, you suck. Like it's okay to do like what I believe it was, what Brosdar Gratterall did in the World Series was fine. Like, do that. I mean, Manny Machado had a problem with it, but do that. Like, he didn't do it to anybody. He just celebrated. But I think you cross the line when you turn to a guy and start screaming at him and telling him that he sucks and to get off of his field. I think you can do that. Like, you can turn and scream all you want. Like, turn to your first baseman and say, that guy sucked. but don't turn to the player who's clearly doesn't care. Like, he's walking off the field. It's not like the guy struck out and stared at the pitcher. Like, Rizzo just is the nicest guy. Like, what's the point? I don't know. Maybe Amir Garrett was disappointed that Anthony Rizzo has a better ERA than he does this year. That's probably the problem. But I don't understand it. So the last thing I want to talk about a little bit here, if you guys are up to it, because I think it's important to talk about, was Bryce Harper getting hit in the face by Genesis Cabrera. He got, straight up just sucker punched by the baseball. It was a really, really brutal visual. I remember back in the day, 5-6 years ago, if someone got hit in the face, you never saw a replay of it. We didn't see replay of Giancarlo Stanton getting hit more than once. But Harper gets hit dead, like right here. Boom. It scraped his nose and then hit him right in the cheek. Fortunately, he's okay. Went to the hospital and he's cleared to play. I believe, I don't know if he's going to play today or tomorrow, but he's going to be playing soon. But I think it's something that in baseball that needs to be talked about. First of all, if you are a pitcher and you hit a guy in the face, Genesis Cabrera did the right thing. He obviously was not. He was very shaken up after getting on the ground, and he's clearly distraught. But if you just hit a guy in the face, go up to him. Like, it's the human. Like, you just hit a guy in the face. You almost killed someone. Like, go up to him. Check if he's okay. Like, I don't understand why no one does that. Like, if I hit someone in the face, I would have gone running to make sure that he's okay. I don't know. That's just me. Nick, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's different if I hit someone in the body or like somewhere else, but the face, that's pretty serious. I remember when Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the face, and that was very scary. He was bleeding all over the place. Now he has to wear that protective piece like right by his jaw, I think now. But I agree with you. So if I were a pitcher and I hit someone 98 in the face, and 100% I'm going to go up to them and ask them if they're okay. Like, if I was a Aroldis Chapman, I would be so scared to throw 103 at someone's face. That would actually like cause major damage, and two, that might actually kill somebody. So yeah, I agree. It's a little too much for someone to hit someone in the face and then not say anything afterwards, or just apologize after the game. Whatever it be, but I don't think it should be intentional that someone throws at someone's face. Like, I don't think it's ever intentional. The ball just kind of gets away from some pitchers, and it happens from time to time. But yeah, that's just and it's also just baseball. It happens a lot than you think it would. So just the sport.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's happened before. It's going to continue to happen. A pitch gets away from a pitcher. It's not like a pitcher is going up there and is intentionally aiming to hit someone in the head, because if they did, they should be suspended, even though Rob Manfred probably won't, because he's a joke. So here's the thing. A pitch is going to get away, and that's what happened. And I think that in a pitcher situation, when that happens, you don't think about running up there because you're just in shock. You're just in shock that something that you did happen, and you don't mean to do it. Also, trainers won't let you out there. Their trainers are running out immediately, checking in on him, and so was Joe Girardi. So that's the other piece. But mainly, pitchers are they're frozen, shocked. So I think that's the main thing. But it happens. It's going to continue to happen. I don't think we have to take anything serious into it. Besides, batters got to be careful. That's really what it comes down to.
And I think the interesting part with it was especially because Harper kind of leaned into it. It was a pitch that was coming up, and he realized last second that it was still coming at his face, because I guess he thought it was going to be like a slider or something. But I guess he just didn't pick up the brake on it and thought it was going to curve, and he didn't notice until last second that he turns to get out of the way, and it was just he actually turned into it. It was weird. Like, he probably saved his nose by doing that, because your cheeks are a lot stronger than your nose is. But he turned right into it, and just wow, it was a very tough scene to watch. But I feel like anytime a player gets hit in the face, it takes your breath away for a minute. The one that really stands out to me is Stanton. Obviously, that is the worst one I've ever seen. There have been times where pitchers are hit on the mound. I don't remember who the one guy was that got hit in the mound, and his face was just bleeding incessantly. But
it was just Farquhar as well.
Yeah, Danny Farquhar. Anytime
that was my biggest fear. I was always more afraid of getting hit from a line drive off a bat than getting hit in the batter's box. I will say that 100%, because it's a lot harder coming off that bat. Yeah,
it's got with a pitch, is, maximum 100, but when you're getting hit with the ball coming back at you, it could be 110, 115. You never know. And it's always scary. It's very scary anytime someone gets hit in the face. So we're glad Bryce Harper's okay. Obviously, everyone was thinking about him, hoping that he's all right. Obviously, Joe Girardi doing a great job standing up for his player. He went right out and was arguing the heck out of it, saying, and then Didi Gregorius proceeded to get beamed in the ribs. Also, we have breaking news right now. Travis d'Arnaud has been placed on the 60-day injured list with a left thumb sprain. So that escalated quickly. I didn't see that one coming. So Travis d'Arnaud, even more disappointing news. You never want to see a player get put on the 60-day DL. That's always very tough for a player. That's Travis d'Arnaud, very injury-prone player, but
especially if you have him in fantasy. It's really tough.
You picked him up after I dropped him? Sorry, that's tough.
Oh, should we talk about our historic trade, Michael? About how I fleeced you?
Well, we can talk about the trade, but I don't believe you fleeced me because I'm about to be 4-0. So, yeah, Ryan and I made a trade in fantasy. I know that you all are going to hate me for it. I'll explain my reasoning after. I received Jacob deGrom and Travis d'Arnaud, funny enough, in return for, I have to look at your team, in return for Salvador Perez,
Freddie Freeman, DJ LeMahieu, Trevor Bauer, who else?
Mike Trout.
And
Mike Trout.
Oh, yeah.
I thought there was one more.
No, that was it.
Everyone, don't listen to what Michael's about to say. I fleeced him. He texted me saying, I'll give you anything for DeGrom. I was like, I'll have some fun with this. The offer I sent was a joke offer because I never thought he would accept it for Jacob deGrom. He's like, only one thing I want out of that. I was like, what? He's like, give me d'Arnaud. I was like, okay, deal. I fleeced him.
I should ask for more, to be fair, but in my defense, I am running my team very heavily on starting pitching, and I'm making sure that my lineup is the hottest lineup possible. No, it's not. My starting pitching has carried me. Listen to my starting rotation now, it'll be as of tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw, Edwin Diaz, Kevin Gausman, Jacob deGrom, Aaron Sanchez, who is my pickup to pitch, the once a week, Trevor Rogers, Matt Barnes, and Yu Darvish. I just traded Ian Anderson to Nick for Jeff McNeil and who did I? No, I got somebody else. Hold on. Pending moves. No.
It was
Ian Anderson for Jeff McNeil. You're right. Because I'm going to pick up a reliever tomorrow and have an extra reliever. But yes,
you know what my pitching station still is after trading deGrom?
Mm-hmm.
I still have some very, very good pitchers. I still got Garrett Cole, Tyler Glasnow, Lance Lynn, Berrios, Bauer, Duffy, Hader, Urias.
I'm still gonna
slot in Ohtani too. So yeah,
still gonna win. Don't worry, it's okay. I've got my strategy and it's working very well. I'm beating Marco this week.
I face you and I beat you by 100.
We'll see about that. We'll have to wait and see because I'm gonna bring the big guns. It'll be it'll be special. I'm taking it easy on Marco this week.
Allen in your lineup.
Hey, that's what I'm working on. I made the trade with Nick to get Jeff McNeil, get a little bench bat. It's a bench bat.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
Yeah, it's a bench bat. I needed to get rid of a starting pitcher because I needed a reliever. I need to have more daily starters that I want to pick up. That's my strategy. Pick up a starter a day that's pitching that day and get myself some extra points. So that's our fantasy wrap up. Currently, I'm beating Marco 290 to 201, and Ryan's beating Nick 405 to 276.
Because my team is amazing. Thank you to Michael. Let me tell everyone my team. And everyone's going to be like, how did you do this? And I'll be like, hey, it's Michael Garaffa because he just traded away his entire team to me. My catcher is Salvador Perez. My first baseman is Freddie Freeman. Second baseman is DJ LeMahieu. Third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Shortstop, Trevor Story. Second base, shortstop spot is Tim Anderson. First base, third base slot is Anthony Rendon. Then my outfield has Acuna, Merrifield, Blackman, Verdugo, Mike Trout. Then my utility guy is Ohtani. Let me tell you some guys that are on my bench hurt. Bellinger, Luke Voigt, Yelich, and Tal Marte, along with Will Smith and all those great guys. My team is going to win this league, and I'm going to win money because Michael decided to give me a trade that only a dumb GM, like the Rob Manfred of GMs, would not take.
You'll see in the end when I'm given $40 that I made the right trade. So you'll see. But it's okay because until then, I don't have to worry about playing you.
DeGrom pitches, it's okay.
It's fine when DeGrom.
I went out of New York. If I'm DeGrom, trade me to the Yankees.
That's just not gonna happen. He's gonna get an extension. He's gonna get a.
Why would he want an extension? Why would he want to stay with the Mets when they can't win when he pitches?
He's turning into
He's staying. What do you mean? He's staying.
If I were him, I'd no.
His team actually is like good now. His lineup's good. I don't know why they can't hit when he pitches. They only like get 2 hits when he pitches. They turn into like a AAA team when DeGrom's on the mound, but he's gonna stay. I think he'd be dumb to leave. He's set up to be
money, and he'd actually win.
He'd get more money with the Mets than anywhere else. Don't kid yourself.
Really?
He'd be the reason the Mets win a World Series, and that would like completely.
The Mets won't win a World Series because they don't know how to win.
Unfortunately, I just can't confirm that for you because Jacob DeGrom is Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, here's the thing. Where's the offense?
I understand. I understand, but the moment that team figures out a hit when DeGrom is on the mound is good.
You've been saying this for years. You've been saying this for 4 years. Once they figure out how to hit when he pitches, it's never going to happen.
Well, they never had a lineup like this before.
Nick is bringing out the Mets facts.
I'm saying that all the pieces are there, and now we have to just wait and see if they can execute the pieces.
The pieces have been there to make.
They have not been there. They just
not like this. No, they haven't.
Yeah, which makes this year even more pathetic. Because more than ever this year.
They're slumping. That's all. They're going to hit. They'll eventually hit.
Pitches?
They're everyone's in a slump. You should see them play. They're just not hitting, but they hit well yesterday.
It is that he is the guy who drives in a lot of runs for himself. Like, respect to him, but there's offense. You've got Alonso, Conforto, Lindor, who you just gave way too much money to. It's not there. It should be there.
Ryan, I'm making this statement, and I think Nick can agree with me. When the Mets bats wake up this year, they're going to be probably a top 3 team in baseball. No questions asked. They will be Nick, I'm sure you agree with me because if you've seen what this Mets rotation has done, they have the second lowest team ERA in baseball, and they are missing their number 2 and number 3 starters and their best 2 relievers.
Stroman's looked amazing this year too. I mean, obviously DeGrom's looked untouchable. I mean, you're right. Top 3 team, it'd probably be Dodgers, Padres, you guys, and you guys
if the bats wake up, dude.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
It's been special to watch. I can't wait to see what they could do. So Ryan's back. He didn't hear any of our reasoning.
No.
Well, Nick agrees with me. So
when every team is hot, the Mets are not the 3rd best team in baseball.
Yes, they are.
No, they're top 5, but they're not 3.
The way they're pitching,
if the Yankees ever get on, I would take them over the Mets.
I think I would take the Braves probably too. Actually,
I'd also take the Braves.
Mets have.
You'd be 5. You would be 5. I take
the Mets have the second best pitching staff. The Mets have the second best pitching staff in baseball.
You guys are so much better than the Yankees this year. It's not even close to me.
If the Yankees ever wake up, that lineup would decimate.
No, their rotation just can't compare.
No, they're not going to.
After Cole game 1, it gets so sus after that.
No,
the Mets when
Kluber,
when Carrasco,
James and Taillon who got his first win. He got his first win in 2 years against the Tigers. He gave up 3 runs against us.
I think Taillon's fine. Taillon's fine.
Jeez.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
When the Mets get Carrasco and Syndergaard back, they have the best rotation in baseball.
Oh, that's not true.
Right now, the way they're performing,
what'd you just say?
When the Mets get Carrasco and Syndergaard back, they have the best rotation in baseball numbers-wise. There's no question about it.
See you guys later. That's horrible. That is horrible.
Oh, then he's actually gone. Well, it's okay. Ryan's gonna Ryan. That's all. No, the way the Mets are pitching right now, I would agree. I'm not made the statement, but I think you can agree. I think you can agree that if Carrasco and Syndergaard come back and pitch the way that they should, then at that time the Mets will have the best rotation in baseball. There's no.
For me, it's always been like the reason why I think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year is because of the rotation and because they can throw out 3 number ones consistently, and Dustin May, Julio Urias, David Price are just sitting there waiting for their chance to.
Right.
And I didn't even mention Walker Buehler, Trevor Bauer, Clayton Kershaw.
My brain hurts.
He is back.
I have lost brain cells after hearing that.
Yeah, no, I
feel like my IQ just dropped.
It's okay.
I mean, it's not a terrible take.
Look, I think the way that the Dodgers pitching staff is doing at the moment does not compare to what the Mets pitching staff is doing at the moment. I know. I'm saying numbers wise right now, the Mets have a better pitching staff.
Kershaw's look great. Bowers look great. Buehler's look great. It's May's just the one that's hurt right now. Price has been whatever, and then Urias.
Price is hurt too now. He went on the DL. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yesterday or 2 days ago. So with that, we'll get into the power rankings. Let's talk about the Dodgers a little bit.
Michael, for you to say that just shows your Mets bias. Because that's just wrong. That is wrong.
Nick understands a little bit. He gets it a little bit.
The rotation part.
Nick agrees with me, Michael. Come on.
From a team standpoint, I can see the Mets being a top 4 team in the league when their bats are awake. From a rotation standpoint, it's probably a top 3 rotation for me. Probably second best. Probably second best.
All right, that's fair. I could see that. That's fine. All right, let's get into the power rankings, shall we? This has been quite the spirited show with without a topic to discuss. So let's get into it. This is like what we've been doing. We're doing 10-1 all the way. We're not doing 30-1. Well, we can announce our 30 team. I have my 30 team. I don't know if you guys do, but sorry, Nick. The same as last week. The Tigers are the worst at the moment. Does anyone else have a 30 team, or are we just doing top 10?
I have Tigers at 30.
Okay, so we all agree. How about that? All right, number 10, the Los Angeles Dodgers in the power rankings. Oh! They are 2-8 in their last 10 games. They are about to get swept by the Brewers. They can't hit. They are getting injuries. You are lucky that they're even in my top 10 because I knew that you were going to yell at me if they're not. They're barely hanging on to the number 10 spot for me. Nick, we'll go to you next for the.
Okay, but I can't believe you have the Dodgers at 10. That's crazy to me. My number 10, I have the Blue Jays. They've looked solid to me over the past couple. They've won 2 in a row now. The record may not just show it, but they've been in a lot of close games, and they just got Springer back too. That's going to help so much. He literally just hit 2 home runs the other day for them.
Dude, his swing is. I love his swing. I wish he was on the Mets. It's just so good.
Yeah, remember when you said the Mets are going to get 2 of the top free agents, and you had to pay me $20 because I bet with you on it? Best bet I've ever made. So for me at 10,
it should have been true.
For me at 10, I have the Mariners. They're starting to slip a little bit, and I had them at 4 last week.
Yeah, I have the Mariners at 15. They were good, but All right, number 9, I have the Cardinals. They've jumped 3 spots. They were number 12 for me last week. They're looking really good right now. They are hitting, and they are hitting very well.
Yeah, I have the Mariners at 9, but they're easily going to be out of my top 10 next week. I can already feel it.
Yeah,
they're slipping.
At number 9 for me, it's tough because some of these teams that come in, like I thought about playing the Blue Jays. I have to value a lot of what they've done so far this season. But the team I'm going to highlight, I'm going to give it to the Astros. The Astros are starting to hit, dude.
Yeah,
Astros
I got them at 11, knocking on the door of the Dodgers. So I think that's going to be a fun little race as the week goes along. Now, at number 8, the only reason that they are here is because they have not been as hot this week as they were in the past, and the teams above them have just been red hot. This is the Oakland Athletics. I had them at number 1 last week, and they are still a red hot team. And honestly, 8-1 is really, really good. It's really hard for me to pick between these 8 right now because this is really I think the way that things stand. We have about 10 teams that are in an elite tier that are playing way above expectations. And then there's about 10 at the bottom that are really, really struggling. And then in the middle, we have the middlemen. And we don't really normally see that, but it's early in the season. Athletics are my 8.
My eight is the Astros. Like Ryan said, they're finally hitting now, and it's showing. They got up to a really solid start at the beginning of the season, and they were slumping in the middle of the season. Now the bats are waking up, and I want to go back and change my number 9. I'm going to change that to the Athletics because forgot about the Athletics, and they sit first in their division right now, so it'd be unfortunate if I didn't have them in my top 10. So, but number 8,
pushes. So that pushes
Mariners are done.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right.
For me at 8, at 8, sorry, Athletics. They lost their losing streak, but they're still playing really good baseball. Just the teams ahead of them are playing really well.
Yeah. All right, number 7. This, I will say, this makes me happy to say, considering that we can drive to see them. Well, I can. The Arizona Diamondbacks. They were at 15 last week. Don't give me that. They've been playing so well. They have been hitting. They were like 4 games under 500 entering the week. Now they're only 1 game because they lost yesterday. But they're 1 game over. But I mean, they've been hitting very well. They beat up the Padres, and they've been hitting. Finally, it's been about time. So I don't expect it to last. But the D-backs they had a very good week.
We're on 7, right? Yeah, 7. I have St. Louis. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They look red hot right now. Then the Brewers and the Cardinals are shiving up for a very good division race. As of right now, it's still very, very early, but Cardinals are looking good. Nolan Arenado looks a little bit better. The pitching looks good. Flaherty's looked decent in some of his outings, but overall the team just looks good as a whole. And once Arenado really figures out how to hit there, it's going to be over.
Oh yeah.
For me at 7, I went with the White Sox. The White Sox are starting to play really well. They're heating up, but I just don't think that they're quite there yet. I still think they're feeling the effects of the injury from Eloy Jimenez.
I agree. Number 6, I have the Giants. Now, this is right before we get into the top 5. The Giants are, I'd say, a step below the rest of the teams that I have in my top 5, but they were at 5 last week. They're at 6 this week. I mean, they're playing way better than anybody expected, and I'm quite impressed with their veteran pitching staff pitching the way that they are.
As Jared Carrabis said, the Red Sox are good, and they're my next team on my power rankings, and they've been good this year. I can't deny it. They've been 5-5 in their last 10 games, but overall they've been hitting, they've been pitching. JD Martinez looks like he's possessed. I think he's tied for the league lead in home runs right now with Acuna with 9, and he's leading the league in slugging percentage. That lineup can hit, man. There's no question that lineup can hit. It's all going to come down to their pitching, and right now it's been good enough so far.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. It's the Red Sox here. I think that when you look at a team like the Red Sox, they've got JD Martinez in well. Verdugo's playing very well. Bogarts is brain power. They've got a lineup that can really tear you apart. Their lineup does a great job of getting on base and manufacturing runs. And then the pitching has just been able to hold up. Will it be able to hold up for an entire season to where they can make a playoff push? That is yet to be determined. But as of right now, their pitching is doing what they need to do. They're doing just enough. So Red Sox are at 6.
They're going to be big players at the deadline for guys like Verlander and Scherzer. I'm sorry, Greinke and Scherzer. I'll tell you that much. They're going to be interesting as we start getting there. Number 5, I've got the White Sox. I mean, they're finally hitting again. They were really struggling for a time there. They were at 6 last week. They jump up to 5 this week. They're really looking like the formidable force that we expected them to be.
5, I have the Padres. I mean, that whole division looks weird right now. I did not think the Giants would ever touch first or even come close to it, but the Padres are still a top 5 team for me. Their lineup is still so potent, and their rotation looks so good right now. Jarvis looks like he's coming into his own. Same with all the other pieces of the rotation like Musgrove, Lamet's hurt, but Snell too. And to me, they're always going to be a top 5 team for me no matter what, and they're playing like it right now too.
Number 5, I have the Dodgers. I can't put them any higher. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They are really struggling. They're feeling the effects of the Bellinger injury. Mookie Betts has also had some injury struggles, minor, to where he's been able to play through, but he hasn't been Mookie. And they're not playing well. Their offense looks horrible. And I never thought I would ever say that about the Dodgers. The pitching has looked fine. The pitching's looked good, especially the starting pitching. Bullpen's giving up leads. They're not hitting. So I have to put them at 5 for that reason.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with the Dodgers is they're 10 for their last 13, but they are not hitting at all. I mean, they're just not driving in the runs that they need to. And I think it's the magical part about it is that they are 10 for their last 13 and are still in a tie for second place and only a game out of first. That just goes to show you how hot they were right away. They've certainly come back down to earth, and I obviously think they're going to pull back away, but for right now, they're really in a rut. At number 4, I've got the Red Sox. You guys really hit the nail on the head for them. I expected them to have a great year this year. They're really over-exceeding expectations, and I had them at 10 last week. They stick in that top 10 again.
This team would probably be a top 3 team for me, but they've actually lost 2 straight to the Padres. But the Giants, to me, landed number 4, and I'm getting insanely cool 2010, 2012 vibes. I don't think it's going to replicate the same way because obviously the Dodgers, Padres, and a lot of other great teams exist in this league. But the Giants are a very scrappy team that will go out there and play hard every night. And I think they have young aces and like Gausman and Sanchez, and the lineup's nice with Yastrzemski. Posey's hitting like he's an MVP candidate again, and the team looks solid all around. And hey, they're number 4 for me in my power rankings.
For me at 4, I'm going with the Giants as well. This is a team that's playing really well. They've got the veteran leadership with Bell, Crawford, and all those guys. And the pitching is looking good with Gausman. Posey's playing really well as well. So I think that this team, they're giving off those 2010, 2012, 2014 vibes a lot to me as well. Will they be able to hold it up? Probably not because of the Padres and the Dodgers, but they're playing very good baseball right now. And if they keep playing like this, they could easily make it into the playoffs.
I wouldn't say easily, but I think that they can make a fight. So at number 3, I have the Padres. I've been really impressed by what the Padres have done. They were at 11 last week. They're in a tie for the biggest jump of the week. I mean, they're looking good again. They had a really rough time, but it all started with that Dodgers series last weekend. They started picking it up. They slowly started getting wins. They beat out the Dodgers. They split the series with the Diamondbacks, and now they're back home and they're hitting again. I mean, this Padres team, they're really good.
Yeah, for me, number 3, I have the Dodgers, and I understand what you guys are saying. They've been terrible. They can't hit. They can't hold leads. The bullpen's not playing well. But let's be honest here. This is still probably not probably. This is the best team in baseball by far. Looking at it collectively, and I'm never gonna not have them in the top 5. And they're dealing with some injuries right now, and they're like Michael said, they're coming back down to earth. But my thing is, Bellinger hasn't played that much. We haven't seen them fully healthy in a good amount of while now. And the fact that they're playing good teams competitively still just shows me that this team is still well constructed to make a deep playoff run, obviously, and eventually make it to the World Series. So for me, it's still all there. No matter how many games they lose for me, like I'm still going to look at the big picture and still know this team will make it to the Fall Classic.
Well, that's what we all hope.
Yeah. Next up for me, I'm going to go with the Brewers. I think the Brewers have been playing very good baseball. They've got the pitching to do it with Burns, Hader, Woodruff. They're doing it all. And the offense is doing just enough. The offense has not been anything spectacular, but they're still putting up runs. And with their great pitching, you don't need to put up runs, a ton of them. So if they're consistently putting up 2, 3, 4 runs, and that gets the job done. So they're playing very good baseball. They're number 3 for me.
Number 1 and 2, I will say, going into this, I'll preface it, it's a tie. Simply a tie. I broke the tie with their record. The team in number 1 has a better record than the team in number 2, and the team in number 2 are the Royals. The Royals are just, wow. I mean, Ryan, you're very lucky to be watching this team play. They are really good. Nick, I feel bad for you. Yes.
Why?
Oh, because you're in the same division as them.
Royals have the best win percentage in baseball.
Okay, but still the record.
So who's number 1?
They don't have the – hold on.
Brewers have the best win percentage in baseball.
He's comparing the Brewers and the Royals.
Yeah, it's the team that has the most wins, I went with. So
You should have
To be
prefaced
fair.
that.
I should have. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it.
I was like, wait. The Royals have the best win percentage in baseball.
Team with the more wins. The team with the more wins. When it comes down to that, and it's like a tie, I go with the team that has the more wins because those 2 games the Royals could have ended up losing. But yeah, the Royals, man, they're. I didn't expect it. Just didn't. Well, I did, but I didn't. I didn't expect them to win the division. I thought they would make it second.
Number 2, yeah. I have the Brew Crew, and they have just been playing absolutely spectacular baseball. Burns has been one of the more fun players to watch, with the 40 strikeouts, no walks type of thing. And then that lineup is just scary. The fact that Yelich hasn't been played yet, not that he hasn't played yet, but the fact that he hasn't played consistent baseball is scary for that team. And top to bottom, this team looks so scary. The Brewers are looking like a formidable force in the NL Central. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be like a 2-team race between them and the Cardinals all year, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, the Brewers have been playing amazing baseball. And then they're my number 2 team.
My number 2 is going to be the Padres. The Padres are starting to hit their stride a little bit because here's what you have to look at. They took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. They did only split the 2-game series with the Diamondbacks, which is fine. And then so far, they've taken both games from the Giants. And they got series finale today. So they're playing really well. Despite a lot of injuries that team has in the bullpen and even in the rotation, they're starting to play well. And the offense is really getting going. So I have them at 2.
Yeah, I've got the Brewers at 1. It's like I said, it's a tie. But man, this is back-to-back weeks now where we disagree on the number 1 spot. And I think this is going to be a trend for the next couple of weeks with the way the Dodgers are playing and the way everybody else is playing. This is a really crazy Major League Baseball that we're watching right now, and the Brewers are just pitching their minds off. It is phenomenal what they're doing. If they sweep the Dodgers in a 4-game series, I mean, that's unbelievable. I don't think anyone thought anyone could sweep the Dodgers in a 4-game series, let alone the Brewers. I really don't. I don't think anyone expected it. So that I also gave them a little bit of that push over the Royals because they've been playing. It's not like the Royals played the Tigers this week and played very well. The Brewers are playing the Padres and the Dodgers and murdered both of them. So it's just phenomenal what they're doing.
My number 1 team is the Royals.
Say it again. I need to hear it again from the Tigers fans. Say it one more time. This might be the only time I hear you say it. One more time. The people in the back can hear you.
This is probably the only time you hear it the whole season. But the Royals are number 1 team right now in baseball. It's as simple as the fact that they pitch really well and they hit really well, and that's usually going to win you a lot of baseball games in the MLB because they have guys like Duffy. Yeah, they have Singer. They have these young aces that just pitch really well, and then their lineup is just. So it's just so scary. Benintendi is starting to find his swing a little bit. So we know how good Perez is. The addition of Santana looks so good. Michael A. Taylor's been an absolute stud this year. The lineup's good. The pitching's good. There's not much more to say. They've been the best team in baseball so far. But looking at the bigger picture, they're not nowhere close to top 5 for me. But as of right now, they're playing the best baseball.
My number 1 as well is the Royals, and let me explain why. Here's the thing. For a team that did not go in on pitching a lot, the pitching has actually looked better than I thought. Duffy is pitching insane. And then you also have to factor in Singer, who did get hurt yesterday, but no, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. He took a ball off his heel. So, but overall, the pitching has looked good. Excuse me. The back end of the bullpen has actually looked really solid, especially Stalmont. It helps when you can throw 102 and then come right at him with a 92-mile-per-hour sinker and an 89-mile-per-hour slider. So it's all working for him. But what I have to highlight is the offense. Santana's getting it done. Salvi's getting it done. Benintendi is starting to get it done. He had 2 home runs yesterday. Everyone is pitching in. Witt is doing his job as always. The Royals are manufacturing runs at every piece of their lineup, whether it's the top half or bottom half, top third, lower third. They're producing runs at a high rate, especially in late inning games. They are producing runs late, and that is a huge difference maker. They're 6-1 in 1-run games. They are playing incredible baseball right now, and they're winning those close games that can either go either way. So that's why the Royals at 1. And the thing is, I have not seen the Royals play their best baseball yet. And everyone's saying it. So I'm waiting to see what this team can do because they are playing extremely well right now.
I want to say for the record, you're welcome, that I called this when you didn't even see it. So,
okay, here's the thing, Michael. Michael, you didn't even call this. Don't try to be like, oh,
I didn't expect them to be in first,
say,
but I am the one who said that I thought they were going to make it to the wild card.
I want to say it's so early.
I agree.
We're like 25 games in.
Yeah, we're 25 games in, Michael. Chill.
Yeah, but I expected them to play well. I did. I thought they were going to hit well and pitch well, and they're doing so.
I'm so excited. On Friday, I'm going to my first Royals game in over 2 years. And they're facing – and guess who they're facing?
Tigers.
White Sox.
Wrong. It is the White Sox.
Cubs?
White Sox.
No, he said the White Sox.
The White Sox.
He said wrong. It is the White Sox. I don't know. I'm confused.
I thought you were going to say wrong.
At first, I thought he said Red Sox is what I heard. No. And I was like, wrong Sox. And I was like, no, he said White Sox. So sorry. No, it is the White Sox. I'm excited because I hate the White Sox.
Do you know it's pitching yet?
Right now, it's supposed to be Keuchel versus Keller.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I'm very excited for it.
Nice.
That'll be exciting. So now let's run the bases, shall we? We've got only three of us here today. No Marco, so no Marco segment. I think we'll do that from now on, where if one of us isn't here, we just won't do that segment unless they send it in. So that means we start with you, Ryan, at first base. We've got we can do a nice little quick rundown here, and then we'll be off and running for the day.
Let's round the bases, shall we? Let's do it. My team of the week. The team in themselves is the Houston Astros. 8-2 in their past 10. They're starting to hit. The pitching's looking pretty solid as well. And they're actually in a tie with the Brewers.
Wow.
The Brewers are playing insane baseball right now. They really are. So those are the two best teams from the past week. And now let's go to the actual team of the week with the players. Catcher's Buster Posey, hitting over 500 this week. First base is going to be Vladdy Jr. It's obvious. He had a 3-home run game, and he's really starting to mash the ball. Once again, at second base, it's Josh Harrison. He is becoming a staple in that Nationals lineup. At third, it's going to be Jose Ramirez. At shortstop, it's going to be Trevor Story. In left field, it'll be a Royal, and it will be Andrew Benintendi. In center field, it's going to be Trout. In right field, it's going to be Judge, who's had the best week of his season so far. And then at DH, I do it every week. I have a position player who could go there, or a true DH. I have my position players, Jesus Aguilar, who hit 4 home runs this week. And then my DH is Giancarlo Stanton. And then my pitcher. Michael, I want you to guess which pitcher I'm thinking.
Jacob.
Let me go look. No, I don't. DeGrom only pitched once this week. Let me go look. Let me take a look really quick. Give me 1 second. One second. Madison Bumgarner.
Nope. I thought about it. He's 1A. I put 2, but he's not.
Oh, Duffy.
It is Duffy.
No, Duffy. Yeah,
That's
Duffy.
It's Duffy. Let me explain why.
No, you don't have to explain it.
I have Duffy / Bumgarner because of Bumgarner's feed and what he did. So I have to put that out there as well. Here's the thing about Danny Duffy. What you have to look at is he had a scoreless streak of 18 innings. In the 7th inning yesterday, he gave up a solo homer. In his past 2 starts, he's gone 13 innings. He went 6 and 7. So he's got 13 innings, given up 4 total hits, 1 run, walked, I think, 4 guys, and struck out 13. He is pitching at an elite level right now. And as a diehard Danny Duffy fan, I am loving it. So, Danny Duffy, I have to give it to him.
Well,
now I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to round the kid to second. I'm going to round it to second because we got a double here. So, bust your button, get going.
that means it's
yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great introduction. So these are just some players that are a little more under the radar that are actually doing really well. I'm going to start off with in Baltimore. One of the better hitters in the league, Cedric Mullins, is actually second in the league in hits. with a 337 batting average, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. This guy's actually been killing it. I think he had the game-winning, I think he had the walk-off sac fly.
Ryan, you're still unmuted. Thank you.
And then next, I'm going to go to St. Louis, go to Tommy Edman, hitting 295 this year. He's currently top 10 in hits this year in the MLB. It's been just so steady and so staple for that Cardinals team. And then next, probably one of my favorite ones from the Rangers, Isaiah Kinner Falefa. He's also top 15 in hits in the MLB right now. That batting average isn't really there at 267, but he's just been solid. And he's been racking up the hits there. And then now I'm gonna go to more of a pitching standpoint.
There's your boy. I'm waiting for your boy, your favorite one from this year that's been in every one.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, we'll go talk to him real quick. Let me just go pull up his stats real quick. First of all, I'm gonna talk about Jesse Winker, 370 batting average, 6 home runs now, 16 RBIs. I know. Just real quick because Winker's been actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Jared Walsh also with 2 home runs the other day, creeping in here. My 360 batting average, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. But yeah, and then I'm gonna go to the pitching. Just give me one sec here. We talked about him earlier, but Duffy is actually like an early Cy Young candidate for me with a 4-1 record with a .6 ERA and 30 innings pitched and 34 strikeouts. That is actually dominance for me. And my last player I'm going to do is Nathan Ibaldi, 4-2 record. The ERA is a little bit high, but he's probably been the best pitcher on that Red Sox staff, and for me, he's just been underrated and under the radar all season. And now we'll cycle it. Jacob deGrom too.
Just want to show that. No. I just wanted to point out that I like how the Mets and Royals are 1 and 2. It's kind of funny. All righty. I was expecting Ryan McMahon. That's who I was looking for.
Yeah. Well, now he's become a staple now.
Yeah, he's cooling off a little bit, but he's still, that's your boy. All right, so we round third and headed to home. We've got the top 5 moments of the week, which is my segment, and boy, have we had quite the moments this week, a lot of them. And number 5 from April 25th, it was a night in San Diego. Yes, a night in San Diego. I had to remember where the game was taking place. Night in San Diego, in a game where they once trailed 7-1 to the Dodgers. The Padres scored 2 runs in the 7th and in the 8th and 9th to tie the Dodgers, then score a run in the 11th to win. That was the Kickstarter for the Padres to get them to where they are today with their phenomenal stretch that they are on right now. That was a huge win, and it stuck around. It was last Sunday, and they have stayed. That moment was in there from the first day and stuck around. There's actually another one here from last Sunday here too, stuck all the way through the week. So how about that? Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. takes the number 4 spot, doing something his father never did, hit 3 home runs in a game. And now, yes, this one arguably in most weeks could be number 1, number 2, maybe even number 3, but it's number 4 this week as the ones above them are just even better. But Guerrero with the 3 home runs in a game, it was just dominant. Off of Max Scherzer, nonetheless, 2 of them off of Max Scherzer. I want to just point out that, I said that before the season. But yeah, so Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just dominant, hit some monster home runs, and it was a really special moment considering that his dad never hit 3 home runs in a game either. So number 3, we have the aforementioned Madison Bumgarner and his 7-inning no-hitter. Yes, I talked about how I didn't think it should be a no-hitter, but I still have it as the number 3 moment of the week because for Madison Bumgarner, it's still a special moment. For a pitcher, you throw 7 innings, you don't give up a hit in a complete game. It makes you feel good. It's a special moment, especially for the Diamondbacks who are now rallying behind the make it count. It was a part of that 2-game, 14-inning stretch of scoreless ball that the Diamondbacks threw in a doubleheader with only 1 hit allowed between the 2 games. Bumgarner capped it off with the incredible no-hit effort. It was just a really special game. And then we go to number 2, everyone's probably favorite moment of the week. Anthony Rizzo striking out Fredward Freeman in what was the friendliest battle I have ever seen between a batter and a pitcher. Anthony Rizzo steps onto the mound. He throws a curveball, strikes out Freeman. Both of them are smiling at each other. They didn't even want to leave after the strikeout. Freeman was just smiling. Coming a little bit after, Anthony Rizzo chases down Freeman, yelling Fredward, and just the love and the rivalry. Unfortunately, those two won't play each other anymore this year unless they meet in the playoffs. But just the Rizzo and Freeman fanfare. It's a fun thing to watch. And then at number one that didn't even happen in a game, but I had to have it at number one because this is probably never going to happen again. It came in batting practice where Bryce Harper hit a ball in batting practice that hit another ball that was being thrown in from left field. The left fielder threw the ball into the infield, and Harper then hit a home run, what would have been a home run, that smacked the other ball out of the way. I mean, you could not plan that. It is virtually impossible to have one ball hit another if you throw them at each other, let alone timing it where you hit the ball. There was probably a 1 in a million chance of that happening, and it happened. That's my number one moment of the week. It is the most random moment of the week, but it was also, to me, the coolest moment of the week, and that is why it is at number one. And that is how we wrap up today's show. A great show today. I enjoyed it. Everyone with the great content. We are officially in summer. Running the bases. Summer is here. We will have a definitive answer next Sunday or whenever we're back we'll have a definitive answer next week when we have our next show as to what the plan will be for the summer for shows. We'll work that out sometime this week with Marco and the three of us, and we will make sure that we have a set plan for the summer, or maybe a not set plan that is a set plan, but we'll get into that later as we talk about that. But thank you again for coming out.
Just simplify it and say we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll know for the next show when the shows are going to be going forward. So thank you again for tuning in. We will see you all next time. Happy summer to all of you at ASU that finished off your semesters. If you're still in school, well, I know there are a lot of people that are. Then good luck in the rest of your semester.
Also, I just want to put out a quick message. Congrats to our very own Marco Peralta for graduating.
Congrats, Marco.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
he is not being replaced either. No, we never mentioned he's getting replaced, and he never will be replaced.
No. We do not. We never mention. Okay.
We do not condone that term.
No, we do not. We will not be replacing Marco. He is not going anywhere. He is staying right here on this show. So thank you all for tuning in.
On the other hand, maybe.
Thank you all for tuning in.